Hey there, it's Jen, and thanks for joining me. Today I'm doing a few projects using the November My Monthly Hero kit. I haven't been doing that many videos lately. I think this is my first video in almost a month. I do apologize for that. I've had a lot going on, and I haven't had a lot of time to make that many things. But here I'm just showing what came in the kit. When I saw this kit online, I thought it was super cute, and I couldn't wait to get it. And then I got it, and I don't know. I had a hard time with this. I don't really know why, but I wasn't as happy with it. Usually, I'm really happy with the quality of the stamps and stuff, but these were very sticky for some reason. So I'm not really sure why that is, but. And you'll see through the video, I have to kind of help the stamps, especially when I'm using my tool, my stamping tool. I have to kind of help the stamps to kind of unstick. So I don't know if it's just, my set or if that's how all the sets were, but usually I don't have that problem. I do still think it's an awesome value for the money. I also want to kind of forewarn you, I kind of changed my my setup a little bit, and so I go out of frame a lot, and I'm trying to remember to stay in frame, but I do go out of frame, and so I do apologize for that, and I am working on that. To not do that, so I might have to change it a little bit. So for the first card, I am using the snowflake stamp and I think it's the copper. It's one of the two ink cubes that came in the kit. So I'm just using the snowflake with a blue card base, and I'm just going to do several rows of snowflakes, and I'm kind of just lining it up just by kind of eyeballing it, I guess. Originally, I was kind of thinking I would do just like a strip on the side, and then I just took it a little bit further than that, and I just did the whole panel, or the whole card base. I really like this ink. It is, I don't think the camera quite captures it. It's really like metallic and shiny. So it's very pretty, especially on black. Basically, that's all I did, is I just went over the whole card with the stamp. And I do have some heavy spots of ink on the card, which I'm fine with. So next, I'm going to take one of the pre-cut tags that came in the kit. And I'm just using the craft tag. I don't think it really matters for this tag, but I go ahead and take the star stamp from the kit and use my Umbrella Arts white pigment ink, and then I am going to heat emboss that. So I'm taking some Stampin' Stuff. It is the jeweled gold embossing powder, and it gives it a nice like glitter sparkle on the star. So I'll go ahead and heat emboss that, and I pop that up with some foam tape and put a piece of a cord through the hole. And I'm just trying to figure out the placement. And then I usually don't like to take stamps from other sets when I'm making projects with the kit, but I felt that I had to with this, so I took Starlight, Star Bright from another stamp kit, and that is my sentiment. And then I took some stickles, some gold stickles, and did the centers of the snowflakes, and that is it for the first card. I really like all the gold and all the shine. I think it looks very pretty. So next, I am doing a background using some texture paste with some glitter. I don't have any of the glitter paste or anything like that, so most of the time when I do it, I go ahead and just use glitter and the texture paste and mix it up, kind of mix up my own little concoction of glitter. And then the stencil I have is just a handmade stencil. I punched it with different hand punches and different hole punches to give kind of the like falling little snowflakes. So I'm just taking some texture paste and putting it on my spatula and running that over the card. And once I've done how much I feel like is enough, I go ahead and just peel that stencil off, and you can see the dimension, some of the sparkle from the texture paste. I really love the way that looks. So I'm going to go ahead and take this strip and I'm going to try and space my circles out evenly. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line through the middle somewhat, and then kind of see where I want my circles. So I've gone ahead and I've got my circles cut out. I'm going to take a piece of vellum. I'm not really sure what color. Probably stick with white, but... So I just cut out a piece of the vellum and took my tape runner and put the adhesive on the back of the circle panel, and I'm just going to take my vellum and place that across all 3 circles. So I wanted a different picture or sentiment behind each circle. So basically I just took the stamps and my one of the ink cubes that came in the kit. The middle one I did love, and then I did a snowflake, and then as you can see I did a part of a one of the ornaments, and I just wanted that pattern that was on the ornament. And then I put some golden white twine over the top and popped that up with some foam tape on the back and adhered that to the middle of my card. And then I took a few sequins and also a few of the I believe it's the diamond or the ice stickles, and that completes this card. It's kind of a simple, you know, white and gold card. For this next card, I'm going to take the 2 star dies that are in the kit. And for the big star, I'm going to use 1 piece. This is 12 by 12 burlap. And this came from the Paper Studio, and this was in my stash, so it's probably, I don't know how old. But I'm going to go ahead and run this through my die cut machine, and this is going to be one of the pieces on the card. So I'm going to go ahead and use this as one of the pieces. But you could, if you, whatever burlap, or, you know, actually what I was looking for was a piece of material, like a ivory, kind of like a cotton material. I didn't have anything. But if you're a sewer and you have a lot of scraps or something, you could definitely use that. You can even use paper and distress it, but I kind of wanted the texture and the thickness of this. So I ran this through my die cutting machine several times, and it came out fine. So that's going to be one of the stars, is going to be in that material. So I'm going to make another star, another big star, and I'm just getting some glitter cardstock. This just happens to be DCWV. I'm going to go ahead and use a piece of the white. This is thick, however, it does rub off a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and run this through my die cut machine also. So I've gone ahead and cut the smallest heart out of just a piece of, it's actually, I used the snowflake that came in the kit that was already pre-cut. And I want this to look like corrugated metal. So what I'm going to do is take some silver embossing powder, and what I'm doing is I'm going to take the star and just lay it right on top of the embossing pad, And then I will take my silver embossing powder and sprinkle that over the star. I do this, I believe, 2 times. So I go ahead and sprinkle the star and then heat set it, and then let it dry for about 30 seconds. And then I went ahead and ran it back over my Versamark pad and sprinkled the powder on, and then heat set it again. And I have this crimper tool that I've had for probably 20 years, and it came in definite handy for this project because it gives the perfect corrugated look. As you can tell, I kind of forgot how to use it, but it totally gives the look that I wanted. If you don't have one of these, you can always do the back and forth, kind of like folding a fan. Or also, if you save a lot of packing material in boxes like I do, a lot of times stuff will come with the corrugated cardboard in it. So if you've saved any of that, that would be perfect for this. So the next part of the card is I just took a lot of the sentiment stamps and put those in my stamping tool and inked those up with a VersaFine black ink. And these are going to be the backgrounds for the stars. So I take the star die that comes in the set and I cut 2 of them out. And here I'm just kind of lining up and tracing out the stars so I know what portion of the words that I want. And then I just go ahead and cut those out. I don't cut around the star, I just cut it in square shapes. And then put some adhesive on my panel. And then I will place my panel on top of the words so that a few of the words peek through. I think out of all of the projects that I made, this is probably my favorite card. And then I went ahead, I distressed the white glitter star with my distress tool, and then I also kind of inked around the edges in black, and I popped that star up, and then I went ahead just now and adhered the corrugated star flat to the card, or the panel. And then for the fabric star, the whole part kind of ripped off as I was working with it, and so I ended up having to cut it off. I'm just taking some spray, some glitter spray, and coloring the heart blue. And then I'm taking some white acrylic paint. I'm going to water that down a little bit so it's fairly thin consistency. And I'm just going to take a paintbrush and splatter that on the heart. Not the heart, Jennifer. The star. I hope I haven't been saying heart through the whole video. So I just kind of splash that onto the star. And then I go ahead and I do the same thing onto my black card panel. And then I just take multimedia matte glue. No, maybe I didn't. Okay, so I took my Nuvo glue, which I really love this glue. It just works awesome. And put that on the back of the star, and that's what I use to adhere the star to the card. So I'll go ahead and place that, and then I'll cut off any excess. And then I do put foam tape on the back of this panel, and then I pop that up on to my card base. I used the Merry Christmas sentiment for this, and when I look back at it, I probably should have used like a Happy New Year sentiment, but like you said, I had a little bit of a hard time with this kit for some reason. I was so excited about it, and then I don't know what happened. So anyhow, I just did some faux stitching around the outside of the tag and adhered the tag. And then I did both my tape runner and liquid adhesive to put this on the card panel, because I find if I just put the tape runner, it will pull up, especially when I'm using this foam. So that is this card, and like I said, this is my favorite card. I absolutely love the way that star turned out, and I think I'm going to try some other bigger projects, not cards, but like decorating things with that corrugated thing, and I'll probably have to use spray paint instead of, because if I do like a big sign, it's going to be too much for to emboss, but I am totally going to try that. So this is my last card, I believe. And so this one, I just take my postage stamp die and run that through on a piece of white cardstock. I started out on this one with the red card base. I end up going to a black at the end, and I think I probably went to green in between. I just couldn't figure out what card base I wanted. But once I got the card stamped up. I knew what I wanted, and so I went ahead and decided to change that. So I am off the camera. It looks like, oh, okay, I moved it up. So I'm taking the ornament stamp, and I'm taking my Distress Oxide inks. This is Candied Apple. And I drag it along there because when you stamp it up, it kind of gives that look on the paper, which you probably can't really tell that well right here. But most of these stamps I ink up 2 times. And here you can tell I'm just taking a paintbrush so that it doesn't move my paper because the stamps are sticking that much. So I do 4 different colors of Distress Oxides, and then I take my Versamark pen, and there's these little designs in the stamp. And so I went ahead and put some gold embossing powder. So since I used my Versamark pen, which is basically an embossing pen, it's just going to give the embossing in the areas where I use the pen. And I really like how this turned out. I love that pen because you can put the embossing wherever you want, but I did that on every ornament. I put a little bit of embossing. And then here I'm taking the one of the ink cubes that came in the kit, and I'm just taking the bottom of a pencil eraser and making some dots using that ink pad. So I stopped recording for some reason. I'm not really sure why. I just wasn't happy with all I did was I ended up putting some double-sided, or not double-sided, some adhesive-backed foam. And I already attached it to that side, and this is the adhesive. I also went ahead and I changed my card base to a black. I just thought it looked a little bit better than the red. And then I added strings, which I will put bows on. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and take the adhesive off and go ahead and line this up on the card. Hopefully line it up on the card, actually. And so, so I went ahead and I trimmed off the bows, and then I just made a tag, and it's not exactly even. But I thought I'd go ahead and put some dots also around the outside of the card, just like I did with the end, and it actually looks really pretty against the black. So originally on the card I had the 4 bows, and then I had the sentiment happy everything. I do change that, so the card you see at the end is a little bit different. I do change the sentiment, and I take 2 of the middle bows out. So I only made 5 projects, and the last project I made I actually didn't video. But it's just the snowflake die with blue ink and kind of a little shaker window. And it's just a little ornament. Unfortunately, I didn't make a hoop. But that's the front, that's the back. And there's just foam tape in between. What I originally was doing with this was making an ornament card, which basically is a card where you have a little pocket and you put the ornament in. And then once they get the card in the mail, they can just slip the ornament out. I kind of messed up on it, and I want to get started. I don't have a lot of time, and I want to get started on making my Christmas cards that are just with the like stamps and stuff that I have. And so I didn't go ahead and remake that, but that's just an idea. And I think it's a cute little ornament that you can hang on the tree. So just to recap, here's the rest of the cards. This card I went ahead and I thought the red bows were too much, so I ended up taking the 2 middle ones off and I changed the sentiment. So that is one card. Which one did I make before that? And so this card right here is the other one. I think this is my favorite. I really like it. And then we have the white card. and then the star card. So I didn't actually make a card with the tree on it, but here's a preview of all of the cards. Thanks so much for joining me. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know which card was your favorite. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll catch you later. Have a great week.